And Coach, will
Morning, Chris.
I mean, you kind of touched on this earlier in the week. Will you plan to play guys any less minutes Sunday that you can play Sunday?
Yeah, I think we just have to play it by ear. Our kids are, they were dragging last night. But everybody goes through the COVID thing. Ideally, you play SMU Sunday, Temple Thursday, and Memphis on Sunday. The COVID thing just kind of, 3 games in 5 days. SMU Sunday, Cincinnati Tuesday, Temple Thursday, Memphis Sunday. 4 games in 8 days is tough. I don't think you can plan anything. You just play it by ear. We'll see who's, it's just energy. How much energy can we generate? Where are we in terms of fatigue? You got so many guys playing heavy minutes. So we'll see.
We'll go to Joseph Duarte with the Houston Chronicle. Joseph, please go ahead.
Good morning, Kelvin.
Good morning.
Along those lines, Kelvin, I'm curious that the fact that you had these 3 games and then going into 4, how have you felt the team has responded, mentally, physically, just your 3, you won 3 games, but how they held up, during this tough stretch?
Well, we've improved as the season's gone on. Our first conference game was Temple. And look at the difference in the 2 games. We played the first Temple game. Not only did we not have no Tremont, no Marcus, we didn't have Kyler either. To me, that was our best win of the year. Playing without those guys. Ramon had just been cleared recently. He hadn't played. We had poor kid to throw him out there in the starting lineup. Tajay and Jamal didn't have any subs. We played Fabian, I think, 10 minutes at the 3. But, I think that's kind of when this season's over and you look back at this year, regardless, just really proud of this group, what they've been able to do and get to this point of the season. And, I think we're a better team today than we were 2 weeks ago. Everybody has a stretch. Every team has a stretch that you go through where you're just going to lose games. That's the reason why nobody's done it since 1976. So, but that's why I just don't get too high after wins. And I don't, losses don't bother me as much as how do we learn from them. That's just always the case with me. I don't overreact to stuff.
Thank you. We'll go to Chancellor Johnson with KPRC. Chancellor, please go ahead with your question for Coach.
Good morning, Kelvin. How you doing?
Good, Chancellor. Thank you.
Good. Obviously, a lot of basketball still to be played, but considering the accomplishment that you guys had last night and everything that you guys went through this season, how do you allow yourself to enjoy that moment right now?
My mother passed away in 2014, and she was a big driving force in my life. I don't think the first NCAA tournament game that I coached that my mom and dad were not at was the San Diego State game. But even after that game, I thought about them, and my mother's biggest criticism or observation, whatever how you want to look at it, was that I never smelled the roses. She's always says, "Son, stop and smell the roses." She says, she would say, she had a narrative about that. She was an RN, and then she worked with, when she retired, she worked with hospice patients. So she had a different perspective on successes and failures. And I learned a lot from her about that. But I just don't think it's in my personality to do that. Chancellor. I wish I was better at that, being able to enjoy things, but it's just hard for me to do that.
Thank you, Chancellor. We'll go back to Chris Gardner. Chris, go ahead, please, sir.
Coach, I had a chance to talk to Emanuel Sharp last night, and he mentioned that he's lost about 25 to 26 pounds thus far. Just what does Coach Allen Bishop do so well with players, people?
What is it with your infatuation with Emanuel Sharp?
Oh, well, he's part of the
he ain't even
future,
on the
so
team.
right.
We just won a championship, got a big game, and here you are asking me about Emanuel Sharp. The hell has Emanuel Sharp got to do with anything? What was the question again? What does Bishop do?
Yeah, how great a job he has at his job.
He works the shit out of him. This ain't I mean, we don't have any trickery or be the smartest guy in the room. You know, and think about what you've got to do. A lot of this is osmosis too. This kid had a horrific, not as bad as Tajay's, but he had a horrific lower body injury. He had compound fractures in his leg and ankle. It was bad. So when you sit around, that's not a fair thing to say. When you're going through a recovery like that, you don't exercise, you sit. And young guys are going to eat. And he just gained too much weight. I saw him before he got hurt. Obviously, I mean, we saw him a lot. That's why we're excited about recruiting him and then signing him. But as soon as he, you know, it's kind of like a baby. You know, babies have baby fat, and as they get more active, they start walking, and then they kind of, their bodies take shape. Sometimes that's just through osmosis. I think he was up to 231 pounds. I think the other day, I think he was at 205, 206, something like that. But he just got cleared to exercise. He was going to lose weight regardless. So I don't know that we've done anything miraculous. Bishop takes him one-on-one. We go to the indoor football facility, and he runs. I think the credit should go to Emanuel, because he's watched his diet and he's working. Thing about Alan Bishop, his best strength performance coach that I've had is he just takes pride in his work. Our kids love him, but Emanuel is going to lose weight regardless. Any of us would. You know, we don't do anything for 4 months. Not allowed to do anything. I mean, he was in the hospital for a while, then he was home recovering, couldn't move. You know, you sit there and you start eating flaming Cheetos and a couple ham sandwiches. Then you look over there, mom's got some deviled eggs and leftover brisket, and my man's eating. You know, all of a sudden he comes to Houston. There ain't no deviled eggs and brisket and, you know, leftovers. You know, he's in the gym working, and you know, if you look at our refrigerator in the players' lounge, it's full of healthy, you know, fruit, and Emanuel's a pretty mature kid. You know, it's like the process of recruiting him and how he chose and why he chose Houston has a lot to do with why he lost his weight. He's a very serious kid.
Thank you, Chris. We'll go back to Joseph Duarte. Go ahead, Joseph.
Coach, you can't eat just one deviled egg.
I know.
Yeah, it's hard.
But, you know, but deviled eggs are, you know, your mother's deviled eggs are just different because you fell in love with those. And so every ones you have after that, you compare back to your mother's and they just don't add up. But I'm a deviled egg aficionado. I love deviled eggs.
I like that.
Karen makes good deviled eggs.
Good. Well, Coach, I want to ask Reggie Chaney, is it a matter of the guys in front of him, or is there been any other setback in terms of his minutes?
Yeah, no, he banged his hand last night and asked to come out. And I went to him early. As soon as he went in, John grabbed him and he went down. I think just will not. It was getting a lot better. Then he banged it again last night, and he just couldn't go back in. So, but that being said, Jaywan has really. Jaywan's just a good rebounder. Sometimes it's nothing the other guy does. It's everything the other. This is about Jaywan. This has nothing to do with Reggie. Reggie's a good player. Josh is a good player. We got 4 good post guys. This isn't a democracy where everybody gets to play 20 minutes a game, and when they don't, why isn't he? We're winning. What does it matter? Really, how insignificant is it to talk about a guy that's minutes going down when the team is winning?
Right.
Are there any more questions for Coach? I don't see any hands raised. Anybody else have something? We'll go back to
Kelvin on Reggie. Given how the ceremony went last night, has he made a decision whether to use that extra year, or has he kind of informed you guys what his plans are after this year?
Yeah, I think Reggie's planning on coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go back to Chris Gardner. Chris, go ahead.
Coach, how do you think Jamal Shead played this week?
I thought he played crappy against Cincinnati, and I got on him. But last night shows you how good that kid is. When he's got the right attitude, remember he's a freshman. Everybody talks about our old guys. We had 4 freshmen last night. Jamal's a freshman. Jaywan's a freshman. Robbie Armbruster's a freshman. Who's our other? Ramon Walker is a freshman. Those guys are going to have highs and lows. How he played against Cincinnati. He was outstanding against SMU. Not very good against Cincinnati. Really good last night. That's what freshmen do. They don't play great every game. If I can find a way not to ever miss a free throw, to never miss a shot, to never have a breakdown, to never let the other team score, us scoring every possession, we'd be pretty good, wouldn't we? But it's amazing how humans make mistakes and miss shots and miss free throws, miss assignments. Jamal's had a really, really good year. I think he sets himself up for a really good offseason going into next year. We certainly didn't plan on this. Sometimes life will throw you a curveball. You better keep your weight back and not get on that front foot. So we keep our weight back, whether it's a fastball or curveball, and we try to be ready to adjust regardless.
We'll go to Joseph Duarte. Joseph, go ahead.
Kelvin, as you get into the last regular season game, and then you look forward to next week in Fort Worth, have you, in terms of preparation, is the assignments kind of gone out on scouting, or how you want to approach the next stretch of X number of games and X number of days? Or do you not try to go that far ahead just yet because you got Memphis on Sunday?
No, we looked at the brackets this morning for the first time. I hadn't really paid attention, because you wait till you get the 1 seed. We wanted to be the number 1 seed. So now that we know we won the conference championship and we're going to be the 1 seed, I asked KC to pull up on our monitor. I said, pull up a mock bracket just to see who would be in it. So if you know who you're playing the winner of, you just stop right there. You don't plan the second night. We played everybody. We played 17 conference games. We're 15-2. We played some games. Played better, might have won, but we won some games that we were lucky to win. That's just the way it's going to be for everybody at every level and every conference season. But I just go to we know we're playing at noon. Is that right? I think we're playing at noon on Friday.
Yes.
And so we were looking ahead for next week. We play at 11 o'clock Sunday. But the biggest thing our kids need now is rest. we need to recover. This has been a tough stretch. Not only this playing Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, we also played last Wednesday. So, you just look at the last week, 8-9 days, Wednesday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. That's 4 days. That's 4 games. Now we've got a 5th game coming up at 11 o'clock on Sunday. That's going to be tough for us.
Got time for a few more questions here, guys. We'll go to Randy McElvoy with KPRC. Randy, please go ahead with your question for Coach.
Afternoon, Kelvin. Sorry, I had a connection problem just getting on. I wanted to ask you, with this particular conference championship, is it a little extra special? You've had some great teams over the years, but knowing what you guys went through to get to that championship, wrapping it up with the injuries and so on and so forth, did this one mean a little bit more than others or not necessarily?
No, I think it did, Randy. Now, I would be less than honest if I didn't say it wouldn't be. No. December 22nd, December 23rd, December 22nd, that was the best we played as a group. Marcus was awesome. Jamal was really feeding off Marcus. Kyler, we had Tajay coming off the bench. I felt like going forward, that was a team that could really develop. But our best player is Marcus. If you take the best player off any team, they're gonna have to figure some things out. But fortunately, we had some guys step up. It's allowed Tajay to develop, allowed Kyler to find his voice on the team, gave Fabian added responsibilities, and they were all ready to go. But we've gotten better as we go. Our staff, we work so hard at player development before, during, and after practice. We have a thing written on our board, and I'm looking at it right now. We must be the gym rats. Coaches have to be gym rats if you're going to develop kids. Can't be a once in a while thing. It has to be an all the time thing. Kids can't take 2 days off and 2 days on and think you're going to get better. You get better by taking that sledgehammer and hitting that rock every day. It wasn't the last blow that hit that rock that broke it. It was all those that came before it. So when you see our kids playing well at the end of the season, it's a byproduct of our staff, Kelvin and Quantas and KC, just hitting that rock every day with these kids. And that's something that we're proud of.
Time for a couple more, guys. Joseph Duarte, you've got one of them. Go ahead, Joseph.
Kelvin, as you were talking, I went and I was curious, and I went and looked up. You mentioned, being 15-2, winning so tough in any league, but only 3 schools, and you're one of them, has won at least 16 in the regular season in the American. And I would venture that none of them, the other 2, did not have the sort of obstacles that you did. Is when you see that 15-2 record jump out at you, the potential to have a 16 is that sort of puts things in perspective a lot more about what you've gone through as a team and to even fathom, maybe that number of what you guys have been able to, do during this season and still consistently win with all the issues.
One of the approaches we took, and before I met with the players, I met with the staff. I said, here's how we're going to approach this. It's going to be a today thing with us. Today. We're not looking ahead. What matchups can we exploit? How can we? Marcus's 18 points had to be absorbed somewhere, and it wasn't going to be on one plate. I felt like, if we had 6 guys can get 3 points more, and that's kind of the way we approached it. Josh can, let's play through Josh more. It's somebody's got to be your guy. Come out of timeouts, who are you going to go to? One of the things that I learned, and this team taught me a lot. I didn't have all the answers then. I had to listen to the players, and I had to listen to the game. Because if you listen to your players, allow them to have some feedback. It empowers them. they take ownership. If the coach is a dictator, those things don't always work out. I ask our kids questions in timeouts. What do you see out there? Jamal, what do you think we should run? Now, I may have the answer, but I want him to feel like he's contributing, and that empowers them. That's a powerful thing to know you have a voice. Coaches need to give players a voice. They need to know that they're part of this, and they have been. I listened to Tajay. I've listened to Kyler. I've listened to Fabian. It's been great to see Josh become more vocal, especially the first-year guys. There's always a positive. There's always a silver lining in everything. The silver lining was it gave the 3 transfer guys more responsibility. It allowed them to find their footing, put them on an equal level with everybody. And that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen from June to October because they're the new guys. Now, they don't feel like they've earned the right to say anything. Because, look at the success we've had prior to them coming. Where are they going to come in here and show us how to win? No. They're going to come in here and stay in the shadows. But when Marcus and Tremont left, they went from the shadows to the sunshine. And once they got out in the sunshine, they were allowed to flourish. And then they found a voice. And then they found footing. And now they were on a level playing field. It's, if it's Kyler, it's me, Jamal, Tajay, Josh, Fabian, Reggie, Jaywan, Javier, everybody. It's all of us. We're all together now. And then from there, we just grew. We just had great growth. Before you can have team growth, you have to have personal growth. The person has to feel like he's part of it, and they take ownership. And that's always been our secret sauce. Rob Gray had a loud voice on this team. Galen had a voice. Devin Davis did. We get timeouts. I grab that board. The first thing I do is I look at them and say, "What do you guys like? What do you guys see out there?" And they're always giving me feedback. But that helps me. I learn from them. This team is this team has taught all of us here a lot this year, and that's why I'm so proud of them. Unless we win it all, you're going to lose your last game. And that's we're playing a really, really good team Sunday in Memphis. I think one of the great home court advantages in the nation. Can we win that game? Sure. But it's not going to be a surprise to anybody if we lose it. There's circumstances, and I like playing teams like Memphis because Memphis brought out the worst in us because they just outplayed us. There's no excuses. When you lose the game, you have to sometimes just got to be man up and say, we got to be by a better team today. They were. They played great against us. And we didn't play very well. But you know what? They had a lot to do with that. We didn't play good because Memphis didn't let us play good. So hopefully we go over there Sunday and we have a little bit better showing.
Now for one more question, we'll go to James Mueller with the Cougar. James, please go ahead.
Yeah, Kelvin, you continuously, express your appreciation for the students and the fan base. What's a moment like from your perspective last night, when you get each of your seniors the individual time to walk off the court to a standing ovation, and just the amount of people that stayed after to, celebrate with y'all, watch y'all cut down the nets and everything? What's that like from your perspective?
Well, I've had 33 senior nights. That's a lot of seniors, and they're all special to me. And in all fairness to every one of those groups, I don't think anyone stands out more than the other. It's like everybody says, I can remember people says, man, it's going to be hard to see Devin Davis leave. I just wish we had one more year. God, I wish we had Armani Brooks one more year. What are we going to do if we don't have Armani? Man, I can't believe we don't have Dejan. God, if we just had Dejan one more year, or we had Justin Gorham, could just have Justin Gorham one more year. So now this year, God, if we just had Tajay one more year, if we just had Kyler one more year. But this next year, it's going to be the same thing. But that's what happens when you have a great program. And that's what I love most about it. James, is I love the fact that our fans get attached, create attachments to our players. You know, Tajay's an easy guy to get attached to because he's sincere and genuine. You don't want to see him go, you want to see him stay. But every time you have a senior class, it just opens an opportunity up for the next class. You know, so I've had 33 senior classes, but I've had 33 next years. You know, next year always comes. You know, people that don't do this for a living always think, well, we're never going to win another game because of who we lost. We lose 4 starters almost every year. You know, we don't stumble into the next season hoping we have a good year. We plan for it. So this has been a great group, but we plan on having a great group next year too.